Hey guys, welcome back. It's Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
We're going to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home, but before we do that, we have to give you a spoiler warning. If you have not seen Avengers Endgame,
Right.
do not watch this video unless you don't care. If you're
Don't watch the trailer either. They give you a spoiler warning at the beginning of the trailer even.
Yeah, so the full trailer is out for Spider-Man Far From Home, and it does pick up right where Avengers Endgame left off, with the Marvel Universe being in the state that it was left in. And yeah, so
yeah,
spoiler.
If you want to listen to more, keep listening. Right now, turn it off if you do not.
Okay, well, you've been warned. Yep. You've been duly warned.
By now, all the spoilers are out anyway. I mean, everybody's posting them all over.
Oh my god, some people are still on Twitter. They're like, "Oh my god, I haven't had time to go see it, so please, Twitter, stop talking about it."
Well, there was an embargo, I think, on spoilers, but I think that's passed. So
I think it is passed. It's been what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah. So you know what?
Yeah,
spoilers abound.
It's been spoiled, and any thumbnail on YouTube is probably going to spoil things for you. So the Spider-Man Far From Home clearly takes place. People wondered if it took place before the snap or after the snap, and it clearly takes place after the snap. With the Marvel Universe being left in the state it was left in. Now, the interesting thing that we learned from this trailer, and I'm really surprised that they went there in the trailer and didn't save it for the movie, is the snap actually created the Marvel Multiverse.
Which we figured was going to happen anyway. I mean, that's been a rumor everybody's been saying for a little while now.
Yeah, but they confirmed it because apparently Mysterio in the MCU is actually from another universe that was a side effect of the stones, the Infinity Stones. So this opens up a whole nother can of worms, and where it's going to go. I mean, basically they have an out card now, like the comics have.
Yep.
That they could literally do anything at this point.
Yeah.
With the MCU.
That could be a good thing. That could be a very bad thing.
Yeah, so, Mysterio now, he said he's from another universe, and he seems like a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
in the trailer. I don't think Mysterio is actually going to be a good guy. He is kind of a crook, and a liar, and a bad guy. Although he does look dead-on comic book accurate, which I freaking love this design. But it's very, very possible that Mysterio is lying to Peter Parker about being a good guy. And I have a theory.
Okay, though, if you don't want a theory, turn it off now. If you want a theory, here you go.
Okay, why would you introduce the concept of a Marvel Multiverse in a Spider-Man movie?
Because you want Miles Morales.
Because you want Miles Morales, right? This is where I think they're going to go with it. This is why they're going to tie Spider-Man to the multiverse. Because eventually the MCU may go into the Spider-Verse. They may actually start, borrowing from the Spider-Verse movie, from the comics, and have the team of Spider people that they're doing in the comics right now.
Of course they are, because it did so incredibly well. Yeah,
I don't think people expected the animated movie to do as well as it did. Spider-Verse did do very well. And yeah, they're going to jump on that. Marvel's, because they're going to jump on it, Marvel Studios, because they're going to be like, well, we want to basically own our version of Miles Morales and these other characters, because right now it's like Sony pretty much, has their fingers in it.
But if you have not seen the Spider-Verse movie, you really should see it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a theory, but I think the reason they introduced this concept in Spider-Man was to eventually introduce Miles Morales, maybe Spider-Gwen, some of the other Spider people. And I think if I had to guess, if the Mysterio is actually from the other, this other Earth, it's very possible that he might have been the one that killed off Peter Parker in that world. And then he's coming over here, and that might actually create an opportunity for Miles. That's a theory I have.
Besides this, they opened it that, okay, so these actors are getting older. We don't want to use them anymore because they want to move on to other things. Well, no problem. We could have, a Captain America from another universe and an Iron Man from another universe. And they could come in as, unfortunately, some of the comic book versions probably, which won't go over well.
Well, yeah, and we talked about this before, because just because the actors' contracts are up, just because it seems like it was over for Iron Man and Captain America in this universe, people who read the comics for a long time know that Marvel reboots constantly. They constantly reboot their universe. They would say to keep it fresh. I would say to get as many sales But even going back to the 90s, we had Heroes Reborn, which was you had like Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee creating like a pocket Marvel universe with a new origin story for Captain America and Iron Man, and they weren't the same. I don't think they were the same Captain America and Iron Man.
No, I don't think they're going to go with that anyway. I think they're going to go with whatever the newest, the
new iterations.
Yeah, the new characters, which I don't think is going to go well because the comics don't sell well. They don't seem to understand this.
No, we're going to have America Chavez, and we're going to have Ironheart.
And like that.
I predict we'll have Ironheart with Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. being the AI in her suit somehow. That's I think where they're going to go with it. But yeah, they could technically go back and be like, hey, let's do the Avengers again. We're going to do the Ultimate, kind of like they did the Ultimate comics where they had the separate universe where it was the same but different. But we're going to do the Ultimate Avengers now, and we're going to have a completely different cast.
Yeah, which they could do.
And they could do it and just say this took place on another splinter universe.
Well, then they can also bring in what you were talking about earlier. So the other things they've acquired recently.
Right. So, I'm saying here, how are they going to bring in the Fantastic Four? How are they going to bring in the X-Men? The X-Men, the X books, yeah, they're part of the bigger Marvel universe. But one thing I do like about the Fox books is that they're kind of self-contained because everybody's outraged about mutants, about people having powers, but they have no problem.
In the Fox movies?
In the Fox, yeah.
You said books.
Oh, I did say books? Okay,
yeah.
The movies.
He means the movies. That's why I'm here.
Well, and the books, and the comic books. Like, everybody's outraged about mutants, right? But they have no problem with other people having powers, as long as they weren't born with the powers.
Right.
I could never really reconcile that in Marvel, where mutants are freaks, but, the Avengers are fine.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's fine. But mutants are freaks. So they could actually bring the X-Men in through the back door in a universe without Avengers, without any other superheroes, where they really are the freaks in that universe, and work it that way, then have them come over to this universe to mesh with the Avengers. But in their universe, there are no other superheroes. They're it. Mm-hmm. Fantastic Four. They could have the Fantastic Four maybe got lost in the multiverse or something. So there's so many ways that they could go with this, that they can like retcon the MCU now. It's kind of crazy, even bringing characters back.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, some people don't like that the characters are gone, and that's no problem. They're still alive in that universe, I'm just saying.
What if there's another universe where it was Hawkeye and not Black Widow, and that's what the Black Widow movie? I mean, who knows? Who knows? Things aren't linear, and they're getting.
I mean, I don't know. People are going to probably be like, "Oh no," because I think you could overdo it. Like, I think people are going to get burnt out if they go too much, too far, to whatever. I think
they go farther, faster.
Yeah, I think they're going to burn out people if they start doing that. I don't know, but I'm thinking they're going to burn people out.
I think what could what they're trying to do is explain all these like really heady concepts they had in the Marvel Comics universe for decades, that people had all these years to get acclimated to the idea of there being a multiverse and there being all this stuff going on in outer space. They sort of introduced outer space through Guardians, and then they're going to expand on that, and now they're introducing the multiverse. So eventually we're going to get to the point where everything is possible in the comics is possible in the movies, but is that going to confuse the hell out of general audiences?
Well, I'm wondering if they're going to go there with some characters, because it's a different iteration of that character, if they're doing that for the theme parks. Because they don't have, that's what they do with Guardians. Because Universal has the rights to certain things, and they didn't have the rights to the Guardians characters. So they're going to start introducing these other characters that were different versions of the character, because now, we can have a ride with this character. It's like the Iron Man experience, but it's not Iron Man. It'd be something else.
The Ironheart experience or something. Well, okay, that's actually a really good point. I hadn't really thought about that. But yeah, the theme parks are hugely, hugely, hugely important to Disney, right? But they keep doing these things to kind of sidestep the agreement they had with Universal, because Universal got, Spider-Man, I think it was Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and the core Avengers. They have like all.
But it only affects the Universal Park in Florida. So that's why they're gonna have a Marvel land in California. Yeah, and they already have the Spider-Man. There's like leaked plans for the Spider-Man attraction. I was gonna put up on another blog. So, so they already. I'm just wondering, are they gonna try to do this? Because I don't know when their contract with Universal is up.
I think I think they have to buy them out.
Yeah.
I think it goes on like forever until they buy them out.
So they have to find ways around it, which is what they're doing with the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction at Epcot, because Guardians, fine, we'll just take some other characters and combine them and make our own thing.
Yeah, Guardians was not covered. None of those characters were covered by that.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do that with this stuff, because we're making our own things, they aren't part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, so what they could do is like, okay, well, we retired Cap but we could bring in, we could bring in America Chavez.
I hope not.
We killed off Tony Stark. We could bring in Ironheart, and they were technically not the characters that were covered by the Universal
but
deal.
Disney's been pushing it because then they do the show with the girls and they had the dolls.
Yes.
So they're already on that one.
They're already doing the I even forget what it's called. But it's got like all the younger Marvel characters, the Squirrel Girl and America Chavez and I don't know if Spider-Gwen's on or not, but like all these newer characters.
I think it might have been.
Like I guess
they had dolls of all of them.
Like all these newer characters that popped up since like Marvel Now, like in the last like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, it's very possible that Disney could be looking at this like, well, we can't make rides with Captain America and Iron Man, but we can do America Chavez.
But then people are going to care. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I don't think they're going to care.
They're not going to care. They're not the classic characters. They're not going to care.
Go ahead.
I mean, they made them care about. Now, I will to be fair. They made them care about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they were definitely a D-list Marvel team, but they got a good crew together, and they marketed the hell out of it, and now they're getting rides. The reason everybody's like, why is Guardians getting rides? And it's because Disney owns that one lock, stock, and barrel.
They don't have to, because over with Universal, there's like you can't have it within like 500 miles or something of Universal. Well, Disney's right there, so they can't put a ride in there. But in Universal California does not have the same agreement in place as Universal Florida. So that's why. Yeah,
and Disney, look, when Marvel made these deals, a lot of these deals, they kind of made them out of desperation. The movie deals with Sony and the deals with Fox, and because they were, before Disney bought them, they were not in a terribly good place.
Yeah, they were bad off.
And they were just sort of like making these deals. Now Disney's got to go like try to collect the Infinity Stones.
Pretty much.
Try to gobble up. And I mean, Fox, I think, was because they wanted the content for their streaming service, but also in the back of their mind, they had to think, well, this takes care of a good chunk of the other Marvel characters, the X-Men characters.
Oh, I'm sure they thought about it. They got even back the rights to the Star Wars, the original trilogy for DVD rights and all that was out to Fox and all that. So it gives them back a lot of their properties, the rights back. So, I mean, it was smart to do, but you still have the agreement with Universal, which you have to work around. But anyway, back to the point, which is...
The point is this movie. So, they're going to introduce the concept of the multiverse. I think, we're only 2 Spider-Man movies in, and we're already getting it. I mean, there's all these Spider-Man stories that be told, and we're already getting into all this, like, spacey, multiverse-y kind of stuff, which is kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of weird that they're going down this route.
Well, I know our daughter, Boo, was like, well, don't worry, there's a third movie. He already had leaked that he's doing a third one.
Tom Holland can't keep his mouth shut.
But what I love about him is he's just so genuinely excited. Like, you can just tell this guy is just so excited, about it. Like, he loves everything about it. And it's so obvious. And I think he's a sweetheart. I just love him to death.
He's the perfect Peter Parker. I mean, he's really, really good. And it's going to be sad when they kill him off and bring Miles Morales in to replace him.
I don't know if they're going to do that.
Well, I think they will. Well, I don't know. It's like when
they can make Miles Morales in one of the other multiverses.
And bring him in as a... So I think that's where they're going with. I really think that, at least in regards to Spider-Man, that they're going to go for the Team Spider-Man, the Spider People angle, because why else would you introduce that concept in a Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's been a big thing in the comics now, for better or for worse, that they've been introducing all these Spider People from different universes. I kind of liked it when it was just Spider-Man by himself.
Unless they find a way to stop the multiverse in this, which is possible too, but I don't think they're going to do that because they have this big thing now, Now you could bring Monica Rambeau in and everything else.
We'll talk about that, and then we might actually at some point do a separate video about the Monica Rambeau. But yeah, you actually could have another universe where Monica got the power and not Carol. And I mean, there's so many things that they could do with it, but is it going to confuse the audiences? Even the Hulu. So the Netflix shows. There's been debate as to whether or not they actually take place in the proper MCU. Like, they mention the Battle of New York, but then they never really mention anything else that's going on outside of, like, Hell's Kitchen. Is it possible, if the shows come back to Hulu, which people think, once that 2-year agreement is up with Netflix, that Disney might actually bring them back to Hulu? Is it possible that actually Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that would actually take place in a different universe, like a pocket universe?
My brain's hurting now, so...
Well, I think that's what's going to happen with casual viewers, is like which universe we're dealing with, and DC has run into that problem. Instead of having one consistent universe like Marvel has done all along with the TV shows and the movies, they take place, S.H.I.E.L.D. takes place in the same universe as the movies, and so everything's consistent. they've had the Arrowverse and then the DCEU, and then
yeah, but they all cross
Gotham
over.
has
they
another.
all cross over into their different universes, cross over all the time. They all know they're from different universes, and
yeah,
characters who are dead are now brought back because they're the character from that universe, and it's
well, the Arrowverse is a complicated mess, but they've got different continuities going on, like with Gotham and stuff like that. And then even the Joker movie that's coming out does not take place in the DCEU; it takes place in another version. So I don't know if it's just audiences are getting used to now the fact that like every time you watch a movie, it could be a complete reboot or it could be a sequel. I don't know, but the MCU has been very, very good at keeping a straight line of storytelling, and now we're just going to go off in like 1,000 different directions.
We don't know. I mean, they might wrap it up in the one movie that they stop it, but I don't. I think they're like, yes, now we can do whatever the hell we want.
We can do whatever the hell we want to do.
So I don't know. But on the side note, though, the movie looks really, really good. I am very excited about this movie. I am more excited about Spider-Man Far From Home than I was Avengers Endgame. I'm not as excited about it as I was I am Godzilla. But I am very, very excited about this movie. It looks really, really good, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, Endgame, I mean, we gave our thoughts on it right after we'd seen it, and, I don't think it was a bad movie, but it was underwhelming, I think, for being the big finale. I just think
when they had set the bar so high with the first one, the Infinity War. It was really hard to top that with this one, and they didn't. But that's just me.
Yeah, they didn't. There was a lot.
That it was bad. It just wasn't as good as Infinity War.
Yeah, and well, here again we have you've introduced time travel to the MCU. You've introduced multiverses to the MCU. So literally, they can do anything they want to do at this point, and they're not. But it could be confusing as hell to audiences. But that's how they're gonna keep the door open, because they always joke in the Marvel Comics universe there's a revolving door in the afterlife because nobody stays dead. Now they don't have to. They can recast them. They can go back in time.
They can bring them back if people miss that character a whole lot. Right. Get the actor back in.
Go to another universe where that character didn't die and bring him back over.
They kind of, like you said, they kind of did Gamora in the movie.
Yeah, Gamora, that was a cop out. She died, but then she didn't die. But actually, that Gamora did die, and they brought a different Gamora from the past in another version of reality.
It's not her. It's just her a few years prior.
Right. So I mean, there's all this stuff they can do. I mean, technically, they could go back and get the Infinity Stones, and they still exist and do everything, undo everything. I mean, it's everything's up in the air now, but it does look like a good movie.
Yes, it does. This looks like a really good movie. So I'm actually really excited about this one. It comes out on July 2nd.
So July was, 4th of July, I think, is when the last one came out. Same time. I think it was about the same time.
Yeah, so it'll be July 2nd. I'm very, very excited about this. Like I said, it's not Godzilla excitement, but it's not far from it. I mean, way more excited about this than I was Endgame.
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
All right, so please subscribe to Clownfish TV for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.